am creating the most viral horror game ever made. There is just one huge problem. I don't have any game mechanics yet that you know about. Here's what I do have. I have a cutting-edge monster AI, starting with the aspects of alien isolation. We have 3 vision cones, a director system, a system where you are more visible than light, and less visible in the dark. We have complex states inspired by Outlast. This handles stuff like walking, running, hiding, searching, and ambushing. We have a name for the monster, thanks to you guys. You voted for it. Cassiel? Wow, glad you guys picked something easy. We have a unique ability called Blood Sense, which works a lot like the Bracken from Lethal Company. We have another feature you guys came up with. I call it Herding, where the monster guides you into traps. The monster can hear your microphone, so if you scream or yell, it will know your exact location. You have to sneak because he can hear your footsteps. In this video, we will talk about what you do in this game, finishing with a secret feature so freaking crazy no other horror game's been able to pull it off ever. Now, let's get cracking. No game is anything without a player. First thing I did was get an advanced character controller from the Unity Asset Store. I will admit it was a bit janky and it had its own issues. And I wasn't gonna let that stop. Now it's running like a finely tuned torture device. The Dark Ages must have been fun. Ooh. First off, we have the basics. Walking, running, crouching, jumping. But let's talk about the freaking cool stuff. Imagine, if you will, the monster is right on your tail. He's about to catch you. Bam, you slide. You slide like some sort of Walmart Apex Legends champion. And I think it needs a cooldown because you could do it a little bit too much. I'm sure speedrunners won't exploit this. Next, we have leaning, so you can feel like that neighbor who's on a public list you might know about, who always seems to be watering his lawn at the same time as you're outside. Oh, hey Greg. Oh, hi Seth. Effing Greg, man. The only time I get space from him is when I hang out within 50 feet of a school. Aside from that, there's a few things I haven't even done yet. Wall running? I don't know, what do you guys think? Could be sick to wall run over a gap. Everyone loves parkour. With a character system that feels good, we are one step closer to our goal, creating the most viral horror game ever made. But is there more we can do? Let's talk about loot. And later, we'll reveal that one big secret feature. It's never been done before in a game. Loot. You guys like loot? You like to smell loot? You like to taste it? It's good. You like to taste it. Of course you like loot. Everyone likes loot. That's why we play games. You want some loot? There are 10 keys hidden to this secret game throughout this video. And if you find one like this one before someone else, you unlock the full game when it comes out on Steam. So anyways, I added loot boxes. And before you guys scream at me, no, I'm not talking pay to win, buy outside the game loot boxes. I'm talking treasure in the game. Hot treasure. When I say treasure, I actually mean character upgrades. Each box has a common, rare, or exceedingly rare, unique upgrade. And right now, all I have is character speed enhancements across the board. Running, crouching, walking. This permanently affects your character and its stacks. You could finish the game at an insane speed if you got lucky. I just like a little RNG, guys. I know if you get a bunch of 15%, you'd be unstoppable, or perhaps even so fast the game would be unplayable. But I like it. If it turns out to be an issue, I'll change it. Nothing is set in stone. What ideas do you guys have for loot or upgrades you could find in one of these chests? Let me know down below in the comment. Well, as it turns out, these loot boxes had a problem. Even though opening loot boxes feels amazing, it just didn't feel like enough. For instance, if you get a common speed boost of 5%, it wasn't exactly changing your gameplay experience. So in addition to each tier of reward, you will unlock 1 random vent for common, 2 vents for rare, and 3 for unique. These vents are a system the players can travel through the level. You can use them for escape, for a moment of safety. They can lead you past difficult areas, or even provide access to other secret loot rooms. I like this system because it means luck could give you a vastly different experience between players. But you could also completely ignore all of the loot and play through the game and still have a great time. That's good gameplay. But it wasn't really a game-defining mechanic, was it? More of just a minigame. Still, we were closer than ever to creating the world's most viral horror game. But were we close enough? No. God, no. Well, guys, it's time to talk about that one big new mechanic. Never been done in a horror game. Something truly cutting edge. I don't even know if you guys are ready for this. Now, here we go, baby. Before I wanted to use voice chat for the monster to detect the player, it had another purpose. And you think you know what I'm about to say, but you couldn't. Not unless there are cameras in my room again. I wanted the game to be centered around breath. Your breathing in real life, affecting the actual gameplay to both evade the monster and solve puzzles. Let me break this down as easy as possible. Imagine that there are two worlds, and you can only enter the shadow world by holding your breath. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is inspired by Stranger Things, the Upside Down. So, you come to a locked door in the normal world, but you also enter an anomaly zone. You also notice your presence seems to affect this ancient temple, as if it knows you. Strange. Runes then appear on the wall as you get near, but not just any runes, a code. Where do you enter the code? To find that out, you must hold your breath. In real life, you hold your breath, attempting to solve the puzzle. Panic sets in, like being underwater. You haven't figured out the puzzle, and now the monster shows up, but he can't see you until you enter the normal world again. But he's looming, and you can't hold your breath any longer. You let your breath out, and the monster sees you and rips you apart. This ties your breath directly to the game. Now this all sounds amazing, but it turns out this was a real pain in the old tuna fish. Could I use voice recognition for this? It seems like the simple answer would be yes, right? Well, it's not. Here's why. All of the assets on the Unity store are for voice recognition. They recognize words. Some recognize like 20 languages. I even wrote one of these developers, and I asked, could this asset be used to detect sounds like inhale and exhale? His answer was no. So I could do it myself, right? Let's look at what this would take. First, you need to turn thousands of inhale and exhale sounds into spectral graphs. Painstakingly, you then feed these spectral graphs into a specialized AI learning model. Not only that, but you have to feed improper sounds so the AI knows what is not an exhale or inhale. Once you train this model correctly, and this could take months, you then feed this into a specialized lightweight adapter built for Unity. This is an insane process in itself, and I won't get into it right now. But you guys can see where this is going. It's just not realistic for me to do this. So instead, we will use a more simple system, one that detects the volume and the spike of sound. It assumes this is your inhale or exhale. Now that you guys know about the terrible potential rabbit hole I went down for weeks, let's look at these other questions. What if you don't want to hold your breath, or you have a disability where you can't? What if you're a streamer and talking activates the shadow state? Let's answer both of these bad boys at once. The game will have 3 settings before you start. Normal mode. This mode will pick up the sound of your inhale or exhale, perfect for someone playing at home by themselves. Streamer mode. This will use a breath sync I've designed myself. At the beginning of the game, you will calibrate your breath. Once in game, that will now be your breath timer. You can use a button to activate or deactivate the breath mechanic. The game also challenges streamers to hold their breath while they push the button down. The last mode is a no breath mode. This is a simple button push, which you can rebind, and that will allow you to enter the shadow state easily. So now with these 3 potential game selections, each player can play according to their own unique preference. And I will have created the very first game that syncs to your breath. You have a suggestion how we can use this, or potential issues? I'm happy to hear that. Write down in the comments, or you can join the Discord below. I also want to say that this process will need some polishing, and that's why we have a beta. Speaking of beta, sign up with the link below right now to save your spot, or you can subscribe to the YouTube for more updates in the future. A game with a hook like the only game that syncs to your breath in real life will truly be the most viral horror game ever made, but only time will tell. This has been Seth Studios. Bye!